My name's no longer Kyle. At least, not to her. After that night, after hearing her brag about manipulating me like it was some kind of sport, I didn't confront her. I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't even leave. Not yet. That would have given her too much power. See, people like Amber, they feed off of control. They crave reactions because it means they're still running the show. So, I did the one thing she never expected. I started playing my part a little too well. From the outside, nothing changed. I was still the doting fiancé, still the guy who made breakfast on Sundays, still the one who rubbed her back after a long day and told her she looked beautiful when she got dressed up. But internally, I was gone. I turned the switch off. And I began making quiet preparations. I started separating our finances. Nothing dramatic, just small steps. I rerouted my direct deposit to a new account she didn't know about. I stopped adding her name to deliveries. I began keeping receipts, noting what I paid for. I even started recording certain conversations on my phone when she'd talk about money, her plans, or make subtle jabs. It wasn't about revenge. It was about truth. About having the receipts, literally and metaphorically, when I finally walked away. I'd say the hardest part wasn't the lying or pretending. It was looking at the woman I used to love and realizing that the version of her in my mind never existed. I had fallen in love with the potential of her, the person I thought she could be if she just saw how deeply I cared. But love built on potential isn't love. It's fantasy. And I'd been clinging to a fantasy for far too long. Over the weeks, I watched her behavior with new eyes. One night I said no to a weekend trip she wanted to plan, mostly because it was expensive and I was saving money now. Predictably, she went cold. Didn't speak to me for the rest of the evening. Didn't even say good night. She turned her back in bed just like she had that first night when everything snapped into focus. But this time, I didn't chase after her. I didn't apologize. I didn't beg for her warmth like a dog waiting to be let back inside. I slept like a rock. That silence that used to feel like punishment. Now it was peace. After a few days of me not reacting, she started trying harder. Making breakfast. Wearing that perfume I used to say I liked. Even randomly texting me sweet things during the day. Things she rarely did anymore. I knew what it was. Reset. The manipulation cycle. Push-pull. Withdraw, reward. But I didn't bite. She didn't know it, but I had already spoken to a lawyer. Had the lease adjusted to reflect the fact that I was the sole tenant. She hadn't paid a dime toward rent or utilities since she moved in, so legally, she had no claim. I also found a storage unit and started quietly moving out anything important to me. Family photos, documents, collectibles, even my childhood keepsakes. Stuff she wouldn't notice right away. And then came the night I made my move. It was a Friday. She had just gotten back from dinner with her friends, laughing about something on her phone. I was sitting on the couch watching a documentary. She kissed me on the cheek and sat beside me, snuggling up like everything was normal. I looked at her and realized. This was the last time I'd ever see her in this apartment. Smiled. "Amber," I said softly. "I think we need to talk." Her expression shifted immediately. Defensive. Guarded. "What about?" "I think we both know this isn't working." She blinked. "Wait, what?" Kept my voice calm, even surgical. "I've been unhappy for a long time. And I don't think we want the same things anymore." She scoffed, confused. "This is random. Where is this coming from?" I paused and just looked at her, really looked. And I said the words that finally unmasked everything. "I heard what you said that day on the phone. You know, the day I came home early. The part where you said if I say no, you just freeze me out and it works every time." Her face turned pale. "I didn't say that." "You did. It's okay. I'm not here to argue. I'm just done. I've already spoken to the landlord. The apartment's in my name. I've already moved most of my things. You have a few days to find somewhere else." Her silence said it all. She wasn't expecting it. She wasn't prepared for me to stop playing the game. "You can't just." "I can," I interrupted. "And I am. Because this wasn't love. It was control dressed up as affection. I just didn't see it before. She tried to flip it, started crying, talking about how she was just scared, how all her past relationships messed her up. I didn't deny her pain. I just told her something I wish I'd told myself earlier. Hurt people don't get a free pass to hurt others. And I left the room. 3 days later she was gone. She didn't say goodbye. She left a half-used candle on the counter, her favorite scarf hanging on the back of a chair. But what she really left behind was a version of me I no longer recognized. The man who thought love meant breaking yourself just to keep someone else whole. That guy is gone now. And in his place, a man who finally knows what self-respect feels like. Part 3. The quiet rebuild. The silence was loud at first. After Amber left, the apartment felt hollow. Not peaceful, not yet. Just empty. There were no passive-aggressive sighs from across the room, no sarcastic remarks if I forgot to take out the trash, no chilly silences when I said no to something. But there also wasn't laughter. No spontaneous hugs. No one to fall asleep beside. And that part hurt more than I expected. Because here's the truth no one tells you after walking away from someone toxic. Even poison can taste like comfort if you've swallowed it long enough. I spent the first few nights pacing my apartment, replaying conversations, wondering if I overreacted. That's the trap of manipulation. It plants doubt in your mind like a seed. And even when you pull the roots out, something still lingers in the soil. But I didn't call her. I didn't check her social media. I didn't ask our mutual friends what she was saying. Not because I didn't want to, but because I knew that if I looked back I'd get pulled back. Instead I started small. I bought new sheets. Not because I had to, but because it was symbolic. She picked the old ones. They were soft and beige and boring. The new ones, deep navy blue, clean, crisp. They felt like mine. I cooked meals she never liked, blasted music she used to roll her eyes at, and started sleeping diagonally across the bed just because I could. I went on walks after dark, sat in quiet cafes with a journal, even signed up for a photography class, something I'd always wanted to do but felt silly mentioning when I was with her. Week by week the weight lifted. Not all at once. Sometimes I'd catch myself staring at the door, half expecting her to walk back in with that smug look like I'd come crawling. But she didn't. And I didn't crawl. One afternoon, about a month after she left, I got a text from an unknown number. "Hey, I just want to talk. I've been doing a lot of thinking." I didn't respond. Not because I hated her, but because I loved myself more now. And responding would have been like reopening a wound just to see if it still bled. Instead I took my camera and drove to the lake just outside town. It was sunset. The sky was burning orange, and the water mirrored it perfectly. I took a photo, my favorite one yet. It wasn't just pretty. It was proof. Proof that I could build a life that wasn't wrapped around someone else's moods. That I could be happy without the performance of us. That peace could exist in the quiet. Not because someone forgave me or came back or finally treated me right, but because I finally chose me. And that photo. Keep it framed by the door. Not to remind me of what she did, but to remind me of what I did. I walked away. I healed. And I never looked back.